How are you?
Hey, what can I do for you?
I'm super happy to be on the show again. So I just wanted to say, like, Monty Python is, they are one of my favorite comedy troupes. And when I was a kid, I would stay up late to watch the Flying Circus and then the Benny Hill show.
Yeah, sure.
That followed.
Yeah.
And I remember the Benny Hill show.
Of course.
And my mom would get mad because I was up so late and watching pornography.
Well, I mean, Benny Hill was much more. Benny Hill was would have been much more problematic modern day, but back then, you know, you were just chuckling. He was like a dirty old man. Monty Python, I think, was a little bit more cerebral than Benny Hill, but.
Oh, totally more cerebral, and I love the funny walk. And John Cleese was in A Fish Called Wanda with Jamie Lee Curtis, and and that was a great movie.
And Kevin Kline.
They're all great actors and seniors, and I loved all of that.
Yeah, very good. Oh boy, go ahead.
And stuff like that was really funny.
All right, good. I'll put you in the yes column. Thank you. There's Martina in Akron letting us know. Hey, Ryan.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, so, hey, Gabby.
Hey, what's happening?
So I worked with Gabby back in the day.
Oh, good for you.
Obviously not that close. She likes to be called Gab.
Yep, thank you.
Gabigail, please.
So we're at peak football season right now, right? So high school, college, pros, everything's running hot. Gabby, I don't know if you remember your first ever live take, ever live segment on the air, but I was there for it. We were at Byers Field in Parma, Parma State of Mind, and I just I don't want to put you on blast, but that is the Gabby froze like a snowman live on air. I wish we could get this somewhere.
I have it.
I'm sure you do. That's something that'll probably stick in your brain too. Ryan. By the way, Ryan, it sounds like you called specifically to put her on blast.
Well, yeah, which I'm glad you did because
you're so sweet. You know, I'm glad you did because this reminds me.
I'm glad you did because I really had to button my stuff up from that point on because I got the worst stage fright. You're right.
This was when you were in high school?
I had just graduated, and it was my first on-camera thing, and you know, it's football. It's high school football. I wasn't big in football. You know, I ran track. I played basketball. The sports that I followed
was like playoffs, like Byers Field.
And it was literally the playoffs.
Is that the one next to the Shoppies at Parma?
I think I know who you are, Ryan. Because did you work with me alongside me?
Yeah. I was the camera guy. You were doing a sideline spot.
Yes.
You know, like
I know your face.
Halftime. Yep.
I think I follow you. Don't I?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Ryan, the cable guy on Instagram?
Okay, I was thinking cables and camera because I remember I worked with Ryan, I worked with Cecil, and then I ended up working with Cecil. And
so explain the freeze. I mean, this was a live thing or a taped thing?
They were like, it's live.
Yep.
And they're like, we're going to go down to our third member of our crew, Gabby Cruz. And, you know, that's what they called me. So that's probably what Ryan's calling me that.
Gabby
Because, like,
Cruz.
they all, and I was too... I would correct people, but they're like, we don't care. I was just.
We don't care what you want to be called, young lady.
Yeah.
We will call you what we want to call you.
I don't know. I think it's just easier for people. It rolls off the tongue or something. But anyway, yeah. Let's cut to our third member of the broadcast, Gabby Cruz, and then I got like halfway through a sentence, and because as soon as I saw the red light go off, I just like.
You freaked out.
Yeah. Like I just had second wave panic attack.
Yeah, in there.
And I just was like, I'm sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say. I didn't even try to like pretend to faint. Like you know how after the fact you're like, oh, I could have done so many things.
Yes.
I was like, why didn't I just pretend to twist my ankle or something? You know, just get out of frame and then just.
So what do you
just be like, I pooped my pants. I gotta go.
What do you go like? Back
happening.
To you, Frank.
So they were like, all right. He literally was like, all right. Well, we'll be back later.
No, I remember it. I remember it like yesterday, Gabby. You were like. They went to, and I would love to hear from Alan and Bill, like your live your early career, live meltdown, because I'm sure each of you had at least one. But
Yeah.
I'll never forget. Gabby handled it like such a pro. They went to her, and we're going to Gabby on the sideline.
Yeah.
What's the coach got to say, Gabby? And there's just silence, and she was just like, I'm sorry, I think I forgot what I was about to say.
Yeah, it wasn't graceful. It was like I'm so honest. I'm like I forgot.
Hi guys,
I forgot. Right. Okay, thank you, Ryan.
I love you. Yeah, I love you, Gabby. I just love it that you are where you are.
Thanks,
and
Ryan.
I got to see the start of that. But Alan, Bill, I'd love to hear your version of this because I know you have one.
Oh yeah,
Anyways,
that's good.
right.
Let's put them on.
Well, being on camera, I've done a lot of television. I don't know that I've ever had a brain fart on TV because you're painfully aware that you're on camera. But I mean, Poundcake, we love to bring up, and I wish that I had it. I didn't even think to record it at the time because it was a live read he was doing for a commercial.
Someone has it.
And he was just almost
He was
to the
flying
finish
through it.
line.
He was killing it.
He was killing it. And he just brain farted in the last 5 seconds, and I don't know what happened. And I don't even think that's an uncommon thing because in your brain, you're going, I'm doing it. And then if you get, on the television side, though, what can really screw you up is if you have the IFB in. Because the
Right.
booth is talking to you.
Correct.
So you have to do everything that you're doing,
Yes.
and they're telling you, throw to so-and-so, quicker.
Well, now I
Do
have
this.
a whole third brain. Like
Yeah.
you can talk to me, you can scream at me. Live fans can get in my
Yes.
face, and I'm like,
You're immune to it
I
now.
have a
Yeah.
thought over here, and you're over there,
Every-
and then I'm gonna
That's
get
the
to you
skill.
after I get to the this.
Yep.
And then,
The flow chart in your head is
yeah,
the skill.
But
Yeah.
you're so right. It's so jarring at first.
Every medium I've worked on, I've had a flub. Like radio, I had that live read, which it is burned into my brain.
But also, it's exponentially not as bad because you're not on camera.
But I was on
Radio,
camera for-
right, but I'm just saying, like, for radio, anybody listening might assume maybe there was a technical difficulty. You could literally just stop talking and go to the next thing. Television, you're on camera.
Well,
Yep.
I go back to when I was the in-arena host for the Monsters. And I was on camera for that. They had the whole crew down there, had me up on the Jumbotron, and I was hosting next to Caitlin, and she's like, and you guys know who this guy is? I was like, talking into the mic and nothing's
wasn't
coming
on.
out. Everyone's looking, and then I hear like a roar, and Caitlin looks at me, and she's like, she's pointing to the bottom of my mic. I was like, oh, it's not on. I was so worried about not falling on the ice that I didn't turn my mic on.
There's also no worse intro than, you all know who this is. Like, I don't know why people do that. I know they're trying to be nice or they're trying to be
up on the
sweet. Or what.
screen. It was even worse because someone tweeted at me because it had MMS, Poundcake, and then me looking down at my mic, making sure it was on. If I go deep into my Twitter, I'm sure I could probably find it.
You didn't do the tap to make sure it was on before you start talking?
It was my first time, and I had like a panic attack because they put those little spikes on your shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if this is steady. I don't know. I got big feet. I was like, I don't know if this is going to stay on. And so
he's naturally nervous, Bill. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
they
God,
handed me the mic. I assumed it was hot, or they could control it from the booth where they could, just like you do. You pop me up, pop me down.
Yeah.
I could press the button, but I still.
Anytime I would do stuff like that, though, I would always tap the mic to make sure. And
Good,
well, it's even better because in the arena you hear guh, guh. If it's on, you hear that boom. But
Yeah.
at least I know the mic's on.
Then I did a homecoming, and I yelled the wrong school names. That was fun. I've had
It's like when Aerosmith is in St. Louis and they go, "What's up, Omaha?" Because they forgot to tape the name of the city they're in the back of the mic stand.
I think the school it was like out. I think it was just Ashtabula. I think it was Ashtabula High School, and I screamed Hoban because that was the
Hoban?
That was the school I did the week before.
Oh,
That's freaking funny.
and you were announcing what? In what capacity was this?
I was MC. So it really wasn't that deep, but I think that split second when you turn on the mic and you're going to say something lit, like, oh, I know what I'm about to say. I'm about to hype up. Or like, let's go home and you're like, Chagrin Falls. Oops, my bad. You try to think of the school. Now I understand why these pop stars.
Is that a Catholic school, Hoban?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like now I understand why these pop stars, when they're in different cities, they have someone tell them where they are because it's so easy.
That's what I'm saying. They used to
scream the
have
wrong
they
name.
used to have a roadie tape the name, when they're setting up the stage or whatever for bands or, you get a piece of gaffer's tape and you write the name of the city on the back of the mic stand. So you run up and you go, "What's up, Philly? Yeah. Happy to be here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho," or whatever.
The closest thing I can think of stuff like that for me, I mean, I've obviously had flubs on this show a billion times, but when you're hosting an event and you're waiting for them to give you the information and then they finally give it to you the day of, usually minutes before you're supposed to go on stage, totally. And they're like, "Yeah, just make it your own." I'm like, I got to make it off this paper because you just gave it to me. So I'm going to do my best. But yeah, I hosted at Kent for a football game, and it was pouring rain. It was they kind of half-assed this one game that we were supposed to do at halftime, and I was just like, "Yeah, I don't have a lot going on here, so I can improvise, so it doesn't seem like I'm messing up." But I'm like, I don't know how we're giving away this money right now, just
or doing stand-up.
Yeah,
if you forget,
I've never messed up at that.
Really? God, I remember back in the day. Oh no, I don't know. I mean, you've been. Yeah. I mean, I only did it for about 5 years, but it was just like you would forget a whole chunk of material, and it'd be like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god."
Yeah, I always wondered about.
I've done things where
that is
I have stuff that ties into, a callback here and there, or just sets up a joke, and I'll be like, "Oh, we're going to go back in time for a little bit to this other chunk of material."
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of transitional material, so it was just like, oh my God, if I forgot something, I was dead in the water. But, listen, life goes on. Life goes on. Well, it's not the end of the world.
Don't you think that now that you're more experienced, you can handle the falls a little more gracefully?
Oh, absolutely.
To
the point where people don't even really notice.
When you first start out, you think it's
you
like
put
a
so
cardinal.
You think it's the end of the world.
You think
pressure
you're
on
gonna
yourself.
Get fired,
Yeah.
and you're a bad person.
A bad person.
See, I know I'm a bad person, so I don't have to worry about that part.
That's right. That was never in doubt.
Yeah, Gab's over here trying to be a good person, so that's your problem. Don't be
really
a good person in show
up.
business.
Oh, man. But now it's fun because whenever you flub at work, like at the Guardians, it's the same thing because you guys are doing this every day. So, like, things come up, and then you just kind of roll with it.
But it's also more
roll into it,
Yeah.
It's also more fun when like the crowd or the audience over time, like they kind of get to know you a little bit too. So they'll give you some latitude and some leeway.
Right. And you just can kind of play off of it. But that first one was
I will tell you though,
awesome.
Every time I see you at a Guardians game, you nail it.
Yeah.
You are.
You know what you're doing.
On it. Like there's no flubs, there's no stammer. You're just, "Hey, it's Gab. Pick a card," or whatever it is.
We're doing stuff.
Now back to baseball.
Here's what
pick
I have
a card.
to tell you.
Yeah.
And now let's check out our highlights.
Yeah.
Because after a while, if you do something like that long enough, like there's also nothing that's going to throw you. In the early days, everything can throw you because you don't know what the variables are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if some guy says something weird, it's probably happened before, or you can pivot. It's not that big of a deal.
Or I just have a formula now in my head because there are
That's a good way of putting it. It is a formula.
There are little things that
Quadratic.
throw me.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we try to do a military salute, and sometimes they'll write a whole paragraph. This guy has all these accolades, blah, blah, blah. And for me, I'm not trying to mess up your whole life's work in that capacity on camera.
Right.
But there's also no way I'm going to remember a paragraph.
All that stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Ever.
Yeah.
So I fudge around that, and I just ask my camera guy, "Hey, start on me. I'm gonna intro it, and then I'm gonna read this off because I don't want to mess up.
Right, so have a pan over to him.
I'm like,
Get
just
off
do
of
a
me.
little pan job for me, would you? Because I'm not memorizing. Not today.
Gab's known for her pan jobs.
You couldn't just. It's really clunky, but in something like that, you could just tape a giant cue card to the bottom of the camera.
I could, you know what? And we probably could do that. I'm good at bullet points. I have to simplify everything. I think it's tough if you're on camera, or maybe with radio it might be different, but paragraphs is not the way.
No.
It's not the way.
Because you need room to kind of...
I think you're more flexible if you just get... Because you don't want to be married to the exact word you're going to say.
Right.
Because then if you mess one up, the whole rest of your thought is a train wreck. So you just want to get like the nugget down. Like, who's the sponsor? Who am I talking to?
Right.
Why?
Guys, give me the nuggets, will you? I just need the little nuggets. And that's how we'll do it. Well, Ryan was really, really excited to have
I'm
that
so happy he
memory
called in. I know exactly who he is. I put the face to the name. As soon as he started to tell the story, I was like, I know who this is. That's And it's awesome that he knows my personality well enough to know that he can call on a radio show and just roast my ass like that.
Roast you. Yeah, but it was also
I'm
like a long time ago,
flattered,
too.
though.
Yeah. By the way, for people asking, Bill and I did not wear the same shirt. We just got, they're two different colors. And it's fall. You're going to see a lot more plaid. Every guy's shirt now is
Look at
plaid.
you little lumberjacks.
Yeah, little lumberjacks.
I like to think of myself as a lumberjane.
No one here will
judge.
refute that.
No. Hey,
refute that.
If you
that was so supportive but so mean.
See, she knows how to pivot. She just got done telling us how nothing's going to throw her off, and she knows how to pivot, and we walked right into it.
Yeah, we don't plan our outfits. It just happens. Because
here's my impression of Dick when he found out that he lost his WMMS shirt. Hey! Hate how much I love the show more than myself. Bye.
Hey, there you go. That's what I want. People who hate the show more than they love themselves. Hi.
We're trying to build people up with the love me, love you, hate the show.
Yes, indeed.
We want you to love yourself.
Yeah.
Where do you guys shop?
Amazon.
Yeah, where do men get their clothing?
I don't know.
Does Gwen just buy it for you and hang it up?
No, I have a couple of catalogs that come, and I've liked their stuff in the past. So if I'll kind of leaf through it and I go, oh, I kind of like that.
Oh, catalog.
But I don't buy a lot of clothes. I mean, I have
paper catalogs.
Well, if you get on a couple of mailing lists, they sell all that to other people, right? So most of my mail are like, yeah, those kinds of things. It's all junk mail these days. But if you get on one mailing list, or if you buy something from somebody 10 years ago, you're going to keep getting it. Yeah, I get paper catalogs.
Wow.
I don't ask for them. They come, and I go, oh, I like what's on the front. I'll leaf through. 9 times out of 10, they go right in the garbage. But once in a while, I go, oh, I like that.
What do you have to do with a catalog? Do you have to call someone?
No, you go online.
Oh, okay.
There's a QR. I mean, they're printed catalogs, but it's just like buying online. You just scan the QR code,
nice.
Give me this size. They send it. If you don't like it, you send it back. It just happens to be that they come in the mail. Some of these, yeah.
I just get most of my stuff off of Amazon or Kohl's.
Yeah, I'm starting to get into Amazon fashion. I just wondered. I have no idea where men shop.
Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Amazon and Kohl's. It's where.
And a paper catalog.
Yeah, that's right.
Alan shops for his clothes in the 80s, apparently.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if something comes to the house, if I'm going through the mail and I see something, and it's clearly because Gwen gets a lot of catalogs, too. She didn't sign up for these, but clothing companies
you guys shop what it shows me is that you shop at places that are doing so well that they use catalogs.
Right.
I guess
that is not.
They're not cheap clothes.
Right.
I'm happy to spend on clothes if they'll last and they're not cheap and they're not, whatever. But yeah, there's all kinds of companies and labels that are still mailing out.
One place I do like that I will go to is Duluth. I like Duluth's clothes a lot. And they have, it's like flannels and like workwear, but they have good high quality shirts. It's expensive, but it's worth it. That's where I get all my underwear. They have good underwear. That's my favorite thing there. A lot of my t-shirts are from there, but Duluth would probably be like, other than Amazon.
And the underwear, why? Because they're like super reinforced in certain areas? Or?
Right in the balls. They're just comfortable and
what makes a male good pair of underwear?
Ask him. He's the one going to Duluth Trading Company.
Like a pair that doesn't wear out.
Yeah.
Super fast. Because that's usually in that crotch area where most of the friction's happening. You can things fall apart, and these ones last long.
Bill's a single guy.
Yeah.
So he's very hard in his underwear because he's
Did you say hard on or hard in?
He's hard on his underwear because he's tearing them off when he needs to, right? And so that can be very, very hard on his clothes.
Yeah.
Sure. I've got a